Hello friends, welcome back to the bench. Our patient is Gigabyte B650M AM5 socket. We got the ticket number here. Let's pull up the ticket. I have a Gigabyte B650M Gaming Plus Wi-Fi, and while installing the CPU I accidentally touched the socket and bent the pin. I tried to do surgery with a sewing needle, but the pin broke off. When I added the CPU and RAM and powered on, the CPU fan was spinning and RAM RGB lights up. Well, that's connected to 5 volts, so as long as there's standby or 3.3, then yeah, that's gonna light up. That says that means nothing. Now, if the CPU fan is spinning, but you can see that it's throttling, it's speeding up, slowing down, then that's a good sign. But if it's just spinning, that also means nothing. Let's see, CPU fan was spinning and RAM lit up, but no beep and no display output. When I booted with no RAM, still no error beep. I believe the issue is the missing pin. That's very likely. So some pins are redundant, some pins are not. So if you broke off the V-core pin, then it would probably work. But that sounds like the pin that was broken off is maybe something around the CPU ID, some kind of communication or something. It doesn't look too bad on first glance. Yeah, the top side of the socket is fine, bottom not so much. Yeah, there is the broken pin. Huh. That's unusual, because you see the entire it's only that one single pin, right? Nothing else is broken, not even bent. All the other pins around it are good. But yeah, that happens, and honestly, it is so tempting when you see this socket. It is so tempting to touch it, But the texture of your fingers, of the skin on your fingers, this kind of works like Velcro. The socket just kind of behaves like Velcro. So it's just one wrong move, one wrong touch, and the socket is gone. But as you can see, I'm rubbing against it, and it's fine, because I don't know, maybe my fingers are extra slick today. All right, so we need to replace the socket. The board is disassembled except the what do you call it? The bracket, the CPU bracket. I must say it's nice and shiny, nice and thick. That's probably going to be. Oh no, actually, it doesn't look thick. It is a little older design, because we have transistors, and we have one top to bottom transistors. That is pretty typical. Some of these coils are not soldered on the same way. Maybe they were replaced. We have only 2 coils up here. That's weird. Where's the most mass? We have a lot of mass here and here. So this is weird. So typically on the left side, since V-core is here, right? This is where we connect V-core. 12 volts, that supplies those rails over here, right? And in turn that supplies the CPU. So usually on this side of the board we have a lot of copper. That's why the heating element should be centered roughly here, like this, right? Just like you see it. This is what the heater is set to. So we don't care about this side of the socket or this side of the socket, because on this side there's going to be small pods that go to memory and to bottom over here. What is that? We're going to have to take a look at that, but it should be fine. So for that reason you heat on this side, because there's just a lot of a lot of copper that delivers that vCore. But on this one, we have plenty of copper on this side, here, all the way to here. See all that? All that is a big copper plane. Which means we probably need to position the heater in the center and probably go a little higher with the temperature. Probably 245. I'll try 245. Which means we're gonna use our new software that I designed. This is it. So this is my profile that I use for pretty much all the sockets, but not quite for AM5. For AM5, what I'm gonna do is hold at 225. I'm gonna hold for 60 seconds instead of 40 seconds. And then we're gonna go to 235 for just 20 seconds, and we're gonna go to 245 for another 60 seconds, and that should do the trick. Oh, 0.5 to 45, and this is where we stop. There. So we're gonna use this curve. So heating up to 160, obviously that is provided that the bottom temperature of the board is 165 at least. Actually, I'm gonna go to 175. 175 at the bottom. This controller doesn't control the actual bottom temperature. This is designed for IR6500 rework station, which doesn't come with the bottom heater is controlled by this separate controller. So the main controller that this software talks to doesn't control the bed temperature. I was told that it can, and I have no problem sending the data, sending the commands to the controller to control output number 2, because it does have 2 outputs. But the output number 2 just turns on and supplies power to the other controller, and the other controller actually controls the temperature of the bed. Now I believe that it's done that way because that was necessity to do it that way. Perhaps the second output on that controller is not a PID loop, or it only accepts one thermocouple instead of 2. So I'm pretty sure they wouldn't have done it that way if this controller actually could handle 2 outputs in PID loop. But as I said, again, the software can send the information to the output number 2, no problem, if that is something that the actual controller supports. But that's it. Now let's connect the machine and upload the program. I'm on COM5 on this one. There you go, it's connected, and actually I'm gonna upload it to 6 because I use 4 for the other sockets. I'll use 6 for this one, because 5 I use typically when it doesn't release. I just switch to program number 5 or step 5 or register 5, and that just sets a plain temperature without the curve. Just sets at say 245, and I just keep it that way. But the main advantage of this software is that you can store whatever presets you want and just upload them to whatever channels you want, or just do this manually before every start. And let's just upload it to 6. Yep. And there you go. Let's download to confirm. And there you go. Okay, 160 for 60 seconds. 225 for 60, 235 for 20, 245 for 60. Actually, is 245 for 60 enough? We'll see while removing the socket, but I'm pretty sure this should be probably 120. Actually, I'm gonna change it to 80 right now and upload that. And we'll see, because once everything is hot, you know, to restart this program, it would start again from 160 to 25 to 35 to 45. That's why I have this program number 5, because number 4, if we download number 4, as you can see, this is my socket resoldering curve, and then when I switch to number 5, it just goes to whatever it's set to 240 right now, and it just goes to that temperature immediately, because everything is already hot. It doesn't have to run through the preheating and all that stuff, and I just keep it at 240, maybe 245. I just, you know, maybe 250 even, and until I can lift the socket. So we'll see if that's going to be needed, but that's why I keep it. I like to have that number 5 there. But we're going to use number 6, which is this one, and we'll see if that's going to work. Let's get to it. And as I remove the bracket, there's a problem. See what the problem is? No, there is no outline. It looks like there might be some inside over there. I can barely see a little line over there, but that doesn't give me anything. I basically have no means to align it, because once I put the new socket on, this is what I see. How do I know it's aligned? And it's not like I can just draw something around it. Why would you make a board without an outline? But once I heat it up, once the flux starts flowing and all that, I'm not going to be able to align it. Plus, it's risky. It is definitely risky. And I don't know if that marker is going to stay here. And it's alcohol based. If I heat it up, is it going to catch on fire or something? I don't know. I've never tried anything like that. I've never seen the board without an outline. I don't know. I can try, but that it has a very poor probability, or very low probability of success. Okay, my guess is that it's not going to work, but the board doesn't work already. So since it's already here, I'm going to attempt it, but probability is very thin, very slim chance that it's going to work. All right, so this is what I expected to happen, that the socket will just fly off because it's going to be so misaligned that the pins are going to be in between or the bolts are going to be in between the pins, and the socket will fly off. But instead, it is actually solid on all four corners. All right, that outline I made with the Sharpie, that did help. In addition, the camera looking from the side also helped. So there's a possibility that this is aligned properly. We won't know until it's tested. Yeah, I don't think it is though. No, I don't know. Anyways, let's focus on the positives. Typically, I would probably not accept a socket replacement without an outline. So this is because it's a free repair service, I accepted it, but that will be a restriction on my listing, that there's got to be an outline. You got to have something to work with. The second positive is that the socket dropped uniformly and rapidly. That is very good. That's what you want to see when you replace the socket or when you resolder the socket. It should drop quickly and uniformly. That means the entire socket was heated up at the same time and quickly enough for the solder to flow. If it drops slowly and a little wobbly, the temperature is too low. And a part of that is the proper temperature on the board, so the bottom temperature. The third positive is my software did work. There were some issues that I actually already identified, and they are fixed in the version that I didn't use, because I haven't published it yet. If you are interested in acquiring this software, it is already available. If you join my Discord, there's a link to the Google Drive where it's hosted at the moment. However, it's a very early version. As I said, I already fixed few bugs that were prominent during this procedure, like hitting stop and the machine wouldn't stop. You gotta hit stop twice to actually stop the machine. Not a big deal, but still. I'm still working on it, so there's gonna be, it's only like 2 days old. I started on New Year's Eve pretty much, or on that day, the last day of the year, and I worked pretty much throughout the night, and then the next day pretty much all day. So it's like close to 40 hours of work that went into that application. So it's relatively early. There's some functionality that is not working just yet. But the main benefit you get from it is, at the moment, is the emergency shutdown in case your thermocouple detaches or something like that. The ability to see the power output at relatively high refresh rate, not a huge refresh rate, but it also will be improved and increase the refresh rate on the power, and then provide the calculations of how much power goes into each degree, and based on that prevent damage to the socket in case the thermocouple is not responding properly. It actually happens a lot. And one last benefit of that app is that you can store more presets than what the controller gives you. So you can store a lot of them. Right now there's only, that functionality actually doesn't work at the moment, but you can store even hundreds of profiles that you can just upload right before the job, and hit start on either on the machine or on the computer. It's better on the computer because you can see the progress. And now plotting the temperature, as you can see, that feature is not present in this version. There will be, but that, in my opinion, that doesn't really give you much. I have an idea of much more useful features rather than just plotting the temperature curve, the actual temperature curve. Now, finally, is this gonna work? I highly doubt that. Probability that I aligned the socket properly without an outline is slow to none. But since it's a free repair, it's just kind of, it's worth a try. But I can't imagine any shop actually accepting a board like that without an outline, unless they have some secret weapon to align the socket. I don't have that, and yeah, if you have a socket replacement need and you don't have an outline, please don't send that board to me. I can still try, but no, that's it's just not worth it. It's so much. Not to mention that you can actually damage your CPU if the socket is not aligned properly. Yeah, different pins are gonna receive different signals, and that might cause some damage. So I would probably think that this is not gonna work. But at least the soldering and everything, other than that, like deforming and stuff, that actually is pretty good. The board didn't seem to flex during the procedure, so it's pretty nice board. It's not very thick. I also don't see any overall deformation, like warping or anything like that. It looks pretty straight. So from the standpoint of the resoldering job, it went well, but because no outline, probably it's gonna be a failure. But if it doesn't work, just toss it or sell it. I don't know, as damaged. Maybe put the hint on it that the socket resoldering was unsuccessful, and yeah, because I don't think any other shop would even accept a job like that due to lack of, because that's a limitation. That's all we can do, right? We need to, we can't magically align the socket, and it's not like it's going to fall into its own position if it's shifted by 2 pins, right? It will fall into position, it will solder, but it's the alignment, the wrong pins are attached to the wrong pads on the board, so obviously that's not gonna work. All right, I'll pack the board and ship it. Do not expect too much, but at least, as you can see, it's nice and solid. The socket is definitely sitting. As far as soldering, it's definitely resoldered. And with that, thank you guys very much for watching. I do appreciate you. Hit the like if you liked, dislike if you disliked, and I shall see you in the next one.